Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. Huge milestone achieved this week. Hit 1,000 subscribers. No, I know that mightn't seem much to the bigger YouTubers, but absolutely delighted to hit that target. Been trying to achieve it with a long time, and finally there. So the video you're about to see was actually filmed over the last few weeks and should have gone up this past week, but I was traveling, I had problems uploading it, so you're going to hear me say I'm nearly at 1,000. I actually am at 1,000 now, so just ignore that when it comes up. I just wanted to thank a couple of people, and before the video starts, beginning with my wife for all her help and her encouragement and pushing me to start the channel in the first place. Like, when I spoke about it, she didn't laugh at me and has always been very supportive, has always given me the time, has spent time working on the camera with me and things. Some of my family members, especially my brother, has always been really supportive and tried his best. He keeps watching the analytics on the channel and things, and always there to support me. And again, I suppose when I started it, I was kind of worried what family members would think or what close friends would think, whether they think I was silly doing this, but have all been so supportive. Several of my friends, like you'll see in a while, my buddy who owns that MF combine has been incredibly helpful to me, so big thanks to him. I'll get into that further. He's done some other stuff for me as well, that's later in the video. Then there's a number of YouTubers I want to thank. I want to start with Daryl. We've started around the same time now. Daryl's channel has really taken off. The Home Pros, link is down below, but again, has always been really supportive to me. Appreciate it, Daryl, you're a good friend, thank you. Then Ants, whose channel Ants Pants, another big YouTube channel, got to see it. Again, he's given me shout outs. He's really good guy, he's helped me along, so thank you, Ants. Nils Kal, again, link to his channel below. Kind of another one, that group of us that were kind of together at the beginning, so again, great guy. Look at his channel. And my buddy up in Scotland, who is always plugging my videos, Ali Mack Mechanical, great guy Ali. Watch his channel, again, link is down below. As soon as I post a video, he's always there. He shares it in his channel and always takes the time to comment, so thank you, Ali. And then there's all my other subscribers. Not all of them have channels, but guys, you're incredible. You know who you are. The same people come out every single video, and are always so encouraging, always so helpful. Without you guys, I'd never have hit this target. I will always remember the guys that started and followed me from the beginning, and thank you all. Now, as you can see, this is a kind of update video on the different projects, and I'm taking you as well on the walk of the farm, and I'm going to take you through some of the harvest this year. So this footage that I filmed over a couple of weeks, decided to throw it all together. But there was one thing you'll hear later in the video was absent, because I had lost the footage, but is the cat, which I am sitting in at the moment. So just make sure this camera is still recording. The screen goes to sleep sometimes. That's it. So I actually came down here last week and fired this thing up, and it fired right up, but it cut out again. So I think we might have a fueling issue. It's probably actually out of diesel, so let's have a look at that. Everybody asks about it, so here is the plan. Just looking out the front there, there's a bucket there, but it doesn't actually fit the machine. But they're on a way about work again this week, and there's an exporter quite close to where I'm going to be, so I'm going to have a look for a bucket there. I've been to another guy who sells buckets. He must have had well over 100 buckets in the yard. Nothing fitted it. I got a bucket off a buddy, and that didn't fit it, but we might get that bucket and modify it soon and throw it on here, because this machine needs to work. I've had a lot of dry weather this year, and on Friday, so today's Sunday, there was quite a big fire very close to my boundary, and I've got a lot of gorse down there. I really need to get the machine down there and clear a decent fire break, so that if there is a fire on my boundary, that it doesn't spread in, like you'll see later in the video happened to me last year in another piece of land. So yeah, I'm under pressure, need to get the machine going. Plus you guys have been following this machine for close to 2 years, and I know you want to see it working. So plan, number one anyway, next weekend get the engine running. We'll try and get a bucket on it, and I also need to sort out instrumentation. So fuel gauge I'm not too bothered about. Temperature gauge I think we'll fit a permanent oil pressure gauge to it as well. And there's some other stuff we haven't been through. The rams down the front, we'll weld up those, and then we will run the thing up and see how she behaves. And the plan would be then, my buddy with the Valtra suggested to make a good video to bring down that brand new T255 with the low loader, and we'd throw the cat up in it and bring it up to the farm and get it to work. So anyhow, as I say guys, I'm just going to flip you now into the video that should have been released this week. So apologies for all the jumping around, but enjoy the video. And again, thank you so much for getting me to this point. Appreciate you all, and enjoy the video. Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. Hope you're all doing well. This video started making several weeks ago actually. Kind of came out of a comment from one of my regular viewers and one of my big supporters, Daryl, over there at the Home Pros, just asking what I was up to because I hadn't put out a video in a while. Now, started filming this and subsequently brought out the video on the MF combine, but thought I should figure it out or finish this off. So one of the things I suppose that has come up from time to time, people have mentioned it, is just asking about the farm I have here. I know some people thought that maybe that place where I was combining was my farm. It's not, it's my buddy's. So I'm going to take you on a bit of a tour. Also going to give you an update on a few of the projects. Everyone keeps asking about the cat. We are going to get there with it, so there's a little update on that coming up shortly. And I'll take a quick run through the other projects and just let you know where they're all at, and hopefully we'll be getting more videos out shortly. Things have been absolutely incredibly busy between the farm and the day job and everything else, and a couple of difficulties on projects that kind of stalled, but yeah, we get back to her again. Starting to quieten down now, so I'm hoping things will improve. Before I get into it, I want to say a huge thanks. A good buddy of mine, the guy who owns the MF combine. Now, to begin with, he has always supported the channel. Then he turns around, he lets me film the work on the MF, which I was incredibly grateful for. Not only that, but when I wasn't available to do work on it and he had to do stuff, he made sure he filmed it for me and took photographs. He ran me through the stuff that I didn't know about, kind of workings of the combine, and basically taught me a lot. So we went through all that process anyway. Then he let me drive the machine. He went in the camera for some of it and filmed it for me. And then we were talking about cameras. As you know, I switched, or you might know if you watch the channel, started using the Canon camera earlier on the year, the G7X. Fantastic camera, but he could be damaged, and I had a couple of little instances with it where it nearly got written off. So I just chatting to him while we were working on the machine, mentioned I might buy a GoPro, and got a phone call, and he turned up to my house with a GoPro for me, on top of everything else he did for me, allowing me to film work in his machine, etc. He goes out and he gets me a GoPro. So incredibly generous guy. So thank you very much if you're watching. Thanks for that. I'm actually filming on the GoPro now, and from what I've seen, I've just taken some footage with it and just tested it out to see how it works out, and it is fantastic. So again, thank you for that. Okay, so let's get into the video. Well, it's one of the very rare days here in Ireland. It's not raining. In fact, it's been dry for about 4 or 5 days now. Got a little bit of a heat wave going on at the moment, so thought I'd bring you out for a little bit of a walk on the farm, just for something a little different. Out here at the moment now, and just going out to check on some cattle and test the electric fences and things. So right up the top end of the farm. Some stunning views up here, and it's probably the best of the land as well. So just gonna go and check my fences at a couple of different places. So it's the little Gallagher electronic fence tester. Unfortunately, if you can, I don't know if you can see that on the camera, but left it in the Range Rover and it might have got a little bit hot. The LCD seems to have a little bit of damage in it. So I'm just going to flip you around now and show you what's going on here. Look at that scenery. It's absolutely beautiful in the sun. A few days up here that the wind isn't blowing. Let's see all those turbines there off in the distance. Let's see if we can zoom in on those. Get you a slightly better look at them. May not pick it up now on the camera, but it's sad not to see those turning. There they are, off in the distant hills. I'll zoom out of it here now again. Show you the landscape up here. Let's put the tester on the line here. It's not bad, 1.2 amps, about 6.7 kV. There's quite a bit of cable up here, and we're a long way out the line, so that is up this end. At a guess, I would say there's probably definitely over a kilometre of cable just on these 3 fields. So there are some faults. I know on one of the road crossings there's a fault that I need to clear, so really that voltage isn't bad. See what we're getting down here. So about 6.5, 6.6, 0.8 of an amp. So that's pretty good. I've cut along this thing with a brush cutter about, I think 2 weeks ago. So the line is pretty good, it's pretty clear there. But there is one tree. Just didn't have the saw with me, the chainsaw, last time I was down here. And there's a tree that fell over in a storm. I need to cut some of the branches off it just to clear the line. So down in one of the lower fields now. There's quite a lot of thistles and things in here really. I think I'm gonna have to graze this place down and top it. Probably spray it off, get rid of some of the crap that's on it. But it's a real heat trap down here. It was always a very good field to save hay off of. It's a great place for cattle because, as you can see, it's in kind of natural dip, and it's surrounded by trees, so there's some nice shelter in here. Trees are kind of lacking on a lot of the land here, but yeah, this is a nice spot down here. So I think cattle are probably hiding down in here in the trees. Temperature today is up, I think, about potentially up around 26, 27 degrees. So I'd say they're taking shelter down here. Yeah, predictably enough, they're hiding right down here in the trees, staying out of the sunshine. So it's probably more right up in the back there. This is kind of rough area, has always been. So there's plenty of tree cover in here. So they're in there at the moment, hiding. So I really could do with increasing the stocking levels here, just to graze the place down properly. It would help it, but got a lot of cleaning up here I want to do. First of all, with the cat, so I need to get a bucket on it. This is one of the places now it's going to have to clear up in here. Now, any of the areas where I've got trees in here, I'm just going to leave them there. Obviously, I'm not going to clear any of those out, so they'll provide a bit of shelter for animals. But there's a lot of crap that's grown up here in places that were cleared with an excavator previously, but nothing was ever really done with it, so I tidied them up. But you can see there in the background there's some absolutely stunning land up here, and man, it's hot here today. So this is the opposite side of the road. Again, this place needs fairly intensive graze. Just clean it up a bit. It's been a bit underutilised, but I think this year now I'm going to cut the stuff off it. There's a massive variation in the grass here because, and I'll show you some footage in a moment, this field actually caught fire last year at the end of the really dry spell that we had here last July, and started out there on the side of the road, spread to the top of that fence line, and started burning across the field. Thought I could get it under control, but in the end we had to get the local fire brigade out here to put it out, and thankfully they did an amazing job, got here really quickly and got it under control, because I just did not want that spreading over my boundary into the land next door, or spreading up towards our house. So had it been anywhere else and was well clear of buildings and property boundaries, I'd probably have just let it go, but yeah, it's better to get them out here and just get it dealt with. Started on side of the road, probably could have been a piece of glass left out there, or a tossed cigarette butt or something, but it I mean, looking at it, it's a green field, you wouldn't expect it to burn, but it just got in there. There was a lot of old grass, got in underneath it, and just took off. So this is kind of the regrowth now. It really isn't a hell of a lot in the way of grass in it. Again, this is a place that just needs a really, really intensive graze, but I think I might cut some of the stuff off it first and just get rid of it. I don't need to cut this for our animals, but might just cut it off and give it to a neighbour or something if they want it, just to clean it up. Right, cable tie go. Oh! Yeah. I think it's definitely time to give the poor old hay bob a little bit of TLC. She's feeling a little bit under the weather, so I'm just gonna have to nurse it through today, but gonna have to do something before we start trying to arrange the stuff in for baling. For example, on this side you'll see we have about 40% of a gate. That one's not as bad, that's about 90%. Tine wise, broken tine, spring gone. Ooh, another tine gone. I had that this morning, so I'm going to have a look for that. It's out there somewhere, another broken tine. And the other problem is springs are gone. Then we have that bearing in the dry shaft is gone. PTO cover leaves a lot to be desired. As you can see, there's bits of downpipe and things like that. Try to slip that back up there. Yeah, okay, that's not good. So they all had a habit of breaking here. This broke in half many years ago. I welded it up, broke again, then somebody borrowed it, it broke, so they're very generously put in these strengthening members. But yeah, winging a prayer job. Let's get going. So the sky's gone quite dark, but yeah, let's give this stuff a shake. Yeah, so crap up here is pretty light, so I would say realistically probably one turn, and then we just range it in for baling. Really only cutting this field to just to clean it off. We don't need this much stuff, but just want to get it cleaned up. I didn't graze it this year, and it's starting to suffer as a result. So by some miracle it's held together. Got this field turned. A lot of crap around the ditches that obviously I'm not going to be baling. So I'm going to get back to the yard, do some repairs, and get ready for the next day. Alright, managed to flatten that tube, but yeah, that'll go on there like that. And this one will go in there somewhere like that. Alright. Alright, so I need to find the bottom half of the gate that was on here and see if those tines are on it. Now if not, I can buy some tines hopefully Monday morning and put them on here. You can get new gates, they're about, geez, I think they're pushing up around 160, 170 euros a piece. So this has cost me nothing so far, and even if I have to buy 5 tines, it cost me I think around 30 euros or so. So it's worth spending a bit of time repairing it. say that is a tasty job. Side, not so much. Right, that's the last load in this field. Heading for the gate, but we might need to make a few adjustments before we go out on the road. Alright, last field. There isn't much in here. I think there's about 225 or something like that bales in here, to be about 2 trailer loads. So we'll get cracking. So this is probably some of the rougher end of the place. This is going to need a little bit of attention from the cat. That had clearing to do in here. Obviously not those trees down there, we'll leave those, but it just needs to be cut off and some of this forests and things cleared out of it. As you can see, this place is normally grazed by cattle. It hasn't been grazed yet this year, so there's a lot of grass down here. It's going to have to be grazed off at some point. There's also a lot of cleaning up to be done. because again, these bushes here need to be extracted and things. But this is getting down now close to the southern border of the land. Got a kind of fairly old pasture here, old grasses, but that's nice down here. Alright, this end tends to be a little bit wet, but one thing I'll say for it is when the weather does dry up, it's a real heat trap down here. It's a lovely place for cattle, and it's easy to pick up a water source here. There's a stream on the boundary, and you can fill all the tanks out of that, which is nice. Plus some nice shelter over here, some nice trees and things in the heat that they go in under. But again, there's a big rock up in there, and there really is all that could do with a visit from the cat, just to get rid of that, all those bushes, rip them out of there, try and clean it up a bit. We'll probably do a controlled burn there as well if I could clear sufficient fire break around it. Should make life easier, so we just pull the bushes around that rock burn off the rest of it and probably plant over the top of it with trees then afterwards. Just to replace that there. You see, whoa, some fairly tall rushes and things down here because it tends to lodge in water. But yeah, nice sheltered spot. Right, so this is the first area in here that we need to target with the cat. Once you get a bucket on it, get down here and get all this grass stripped out of here. Once the grass is gone, probably fence it down, grades off anything that's remaining, or else come through here with a mulcher mower, mulch it down and reseed what we need to reseed. But it's the grass is really taking hold here, and it's just needs to be cleaned out. Yeah, so there's a couple more parts of the place. Unfortunately I can't film today. There's quite a few people around the place, and I don't like filming with an audience, believe it or not, despite the fact that I'm putting it on YouTube. But there you go. Hope you enjoyed that. Man, the heat. Let's get the air conditioning on. Oh. Let's be Alright, middle on. Gonna bring the revs up. Alright, so in other news, Range Rover has been ripped again. So you can probably guess from the parts that are on the ground what's happened. This new alternator down in here that I fitted in January, yeah, that lasted about a week. It is charging, but it's been trying to charge light and draining its battery, so I got around the problem temporarily by fitting the master switch and turning it off every night, but that's just a pain in the ass, and it's due test in a couple of days, so it wouldn't start here this morning. I left the battery switch on, so I just decided to tackle it in situ, get that thing replaced. Okay, another Range Rover news. Unfortunately, it went for its roadworthiness test this week and failed. You can really guess what this is and what that failure was. It actually failed on two different items. It failed on the alignment, which has been sorted out, and it failed on rust. So, you know, this must be just only tacked together and as well this up properly, but this is a repair section, so it'll just take in the very end of the wing, or sorry, the sill. There's only a small little hole, and it'll also pick up part of the inner wheel arch as well, and just wrap up around the front of the sill where it's all solid. So it's a couple of different sections. As I say, I weld them up properly, and Trollman has just don't have time for it today. There was also another little hole at the front. I welded that up yesterday and painted it up, so that's good to go. So yeah, get that sorted out and send it in for its re-inspection, hopefully later on this week. So I was about to bring you an update on the cat, but it turns out I lost all the footage from it. So I'd been down there earlier on, I'd filmed around it. I'd fired it up because I hadn't been fired up in a couple of weeks, and nothing. I don't know what I did, whether I forgot to press record, or did I delete the file, or what happened, but I've got no footage of it. But just to give you an update on it, I've been out, I've looked at buckets, I've looked at probably over 100 buckets, and couldn't find one to fit it. I'm waiting on a phone call about a bucket a friend of mine has that I did bring up before. You might have seen it in footage a couple of months back. Didn't fit, but I think we'll now modify that bucket and make it fit the machine. Other projects then, the Detroit diesel, I'm hoping to get back on soon. Been trying to pick up a set of manifolds both here and in the States and have failed so far. So if you're watching this and you know where there's a set of manifolds for a 6V92T, get in contact. If not, I'm going to start fabricating a set and we'll bring you a video on that. Range Rover, you've seen the update on. Dexter, going to get back on that soon. I want to try and finish out the tin work on it, and we'll get it out there then and do a bit more work with it and strip it down, paint it up. It has been working pretty much continuously over the last couple of months in small work, and everything seems good. What else have we got? A few more new things to come. There's one particular thing I've been putting off, so not going to tell you what it is right now, but that little project will be coming along soon. So one last thing, we are, as of today, on 996 subscribers. 4 subscribers short of 1,000. So if you're new around here, please hit the subscribe button and help me get over that 1,000. It's a goal I've been trying to hit with quite some time. So yeah, be great help if you'd subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to leave a comment down below and like the videos if you enjoy what you see. Now I know this has been a bit of a bits video, just bits and pieces I'd filmed and put together along with the farm walk, but try and bring you a video on the cat or one of the other projects soon. So that's it for the moment. Thanks for watching. Catch up with you all soon.